You can't see the wires on the ground, can you?
No. Hey, what's up, Tune Up Nation?
Hey, everybody.
We're here. Hey, we're about to rock on this forgiveness. We've been talking about that. I know you got some issues with forgiveness. So do we. Let's get it popping. Hey, Tune Up Nation. Hey, we're here. We're rocking about forgiveness today. So look, real quick, some housekeeping rules. We want you to like this, share this, subscribe to this. YouTube, the Marriage Tune hyphen up. Yeah, I'm gonna say it again. The Marriage Tune hyphen up. All right, so that way you don't miss any of our segments. Just a blessing to have you guys aboard. And we've been chopping it up. Wow, for some time now about forgiveness. Oh my, oh me, oh my. Right. So where you want to go with it? Where you want to go with forgiveness? Okay. Come on, let's get it.
Well, you know, there's like you said, there's a lot of different ways that you can go with forgiveness. It's such a vast topic in marriage. So we kind of like wanted to jump here and there, and just talk about it a little bit. Yeah. So, well, first things first, I want to ask everybody out there. I guess our first question out the gate is: do you struggle with forgiveness?
Yes.
You have to be so honest.
I was too quick about that.
Yes. Everybody else.
Okay. All right.
So, do you struggle with forgiveness? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's. Well, I'm sorry. We so rude.
We know these cats.
Our family. Yeah, we're so excited. Yeah. So let's introduce our guests again.
T1 in the building.
T1 in the building. Brian and Willa Thomas of 3D Financial. Thank you for being with us to discuss this.
Definitely.
31 years on Wednesday.
31 years on Wednesday.
Yes.
July 28th.
Yes. Yeah. What time?
See, that's right
scheduled
there.
for 1.
I don't know what happened.
7 o'clock. Like that.
1 to 7. Okay. But first things first. So, do you struggle with forgiveness? I mean, as a person, but then as an individual, but also as in your marriage, do you struggle with forgiveness?
Yeah, I think I do. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I have to go to God with it because I wound up acting stupid, or I think the word says, dude, why am I going to forgive you if you don't forgive? So forgive as God has forgiven you. So yeah, I do struggle with it. But I'm supposed to because I'm human. I'm still in this flesh tent. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it won't affect me until I'm on the other side of heaven.
Right.
But that means I still got to fight it though.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I would say I do. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I was gonna say no. I easily forgive. Then lightning almost struck me. Yes, I would definitely say that it can be a struggle, especially when you have different expectations. Especially when the behavior may still be consistent.
Okay, yeah,
and that makes it a little hard to forgive. So it does come with conditions sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Brian?
I would quickly say that, there's something that said you can forgive, but don't forget. But I know in some of my forgiveness, I didn't forget, but I have to remind myself to not bring it back up because you find yourself as soon as things get tough, I want to throw that back out there.
Right.
And the sad thing that is back out there is probably caused by me anyway. From something I did.
Yeah, me too, baby.
Okay.
Me too.
That's so funny that you would bring that up though, be about forgive and forget, because that's like the age old adage.
Right.
I'll forgive you, but I'm not gonna forget.
Right.
So there's another question in that. Can you really forgive if you don't forget? And here's my thing: can you really forget? Because I'm gonna go ahead and just be honest. I'm gonna answer that first question. Yeah. I struggle with forgiveness. I just have to be honest, open and honest with that. I do struggle with forgiveness, and I rarely forget. So it's kind of like how it says with love, in the Bible it says it holds no record.
Right.
It says that. Yeah. Well, I kind of hold the record, so I don't forget. So especially when I feel like you've wronged me and I really didn't deserve it.
Right.
Now, if I kind of and I feel like maybe I deserve that, maybe I did deserve you to try to get me back a little bit. But if I feel like you didn't, because we're strictly talking about in the marriage.
Yeah,
right.
in the marriage. Real
Absolutely.
talk. Real talk.
If I didn't feel like I deserved that or whatever, like, then I'm really like,
Right.
I struggle with the forgiveness, and I struggle with definitely forgetting. I'm going to keep it up, and I'm probably going to remind you every now and again too.
Yeah,
which is wrong. I know it's wrong, but I'm probably going to.
But that's okay. I look at it as in an instinct, an inkling when you would do something like that. I think at that point, God is on me and test me and saying, well, okay, cool. Yeah, I know she did wrong, but now what are you going to do? Are you going to repay evil with evil, or are you going to practice what we preaching, forgive right now, and try to push forward? And I can't say that it happens overnight, or that I still don't get an attitude about it, or whatever, or get pissed off. You know what? That type thing. But at the end of the day, I've got to calm down and say, nah, you know what? I probably did something, like B said, and we can push through it. So as far as your question, I don't forget either. I don't forget either. But I think my mindset is I ain't trying to bring it up no more. Really, I'd like to keep riding into the sunset with you rather than looking back and not focusing on what's ahead of us. So I'm not tripping on it.
Okay. Well, let's talk about what forgiveness is in the marriage.
Can I answer the other one first?
Sure.
Can you forget?
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely.
Forgive and forget.
Okay.
I don't want to forget. I mean, I think you should forget where it ties to that there's a pain associated with it.
Okay.
But I think keeping in the rearview mirror to a certain extent reminds you where not to go back to. So
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, it can be a healthy remembrance. It doesn't have to be. And that's how I know there's a barometer of how you've healed and how you forgive. And if you can touch on the subject, or the subject can come up, or the song can play, or something can happen, and you don't feel that same pain, it doesn't take you back to that moment where you may have learned or gleaned some knowledge. So I don't want to forget to a point, because I needed to remind me of, wow, it could be like, man, look how far God has brought us.
Yeah, amen. Amen.
So that's a touchstone. Right. Like, man, I used to be here, now look at where we are.
Right.
Different strokes. Different folks. Yeah, I see that.
So what is forgiveness in marriage? Studies indicate that forgiving someone is the way of letting go so that you can heal and move on with your life. Forgiveness is about giving yourself and your spouse the kind of future you and they deserve, unhampered by hurt and anger.
That's good. That's good.
You guys think so? What do you think about that? Again, let me read it again. Studies indicate that forgiving someone is the way of letting go so that you can heal and move on with your life. Forgiveness is about giving yourself and your spouse the kind of future you and they deserve, unhampered by hurt and anger.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you, because I think all I'm doing is holding myself back and the marriage back if I don't say, look, we've got to move forward. We've got to push through this. So whether that means, hey, I'm getting counseling with you, we're praying about it. I'm taking long walks, whatever. I'm taking long drives, cold showers, whatever it takes to make it through, because the marriage has got to survive.
Right.
And in my opinion, some others may not feel that way, but the marriage has got to survive. So if it's on me, I've got to push for forgiveness,
Okay. Also says being able to forgive. Then you can jump in. Okay. Being able to forgive and let go of past hurts is a critical tool in marriage. Additionally, being able to forgive is a way to keep yourself healthy, both emotionally and physically. In fact, forgiving and letting go may be one of the most important ways to keep you and your marriage going strong.
I 100% agree with that. Because I believe that unforgiveness in the marriage is like being paralyzed.
Yes, stagnant.
And when you think of something that's a limb that's paralyzed, it causes you to limp. So you have to get to a point where hopefully the marriage is strong enough, the communication is great enough, that behavior changes, whatever unmet expectation is, that it gets to a point where you can honestly forgive. So when I think about unforgiveness, and I know we're talking about forgiveness, but
you got to talk about both.
Right. I think about, remember you have that exercise with the jar and you putting the rocks in and you put this in, what else can fit in there? So unforgiveness to me is when you say, I'm just going to walk past it. I'm gonna forgive, but it's all right. But you ain't really forgave. You're putting more things into that jar. So the jar becomes heavier and heavier. It still functions because you can still pour more things into it.
Right.
But it's not doing what it was designed to do. So I think of it like that, because even though you can still pour things into the marriage, now it's filled with so much dirt, filth, things that God did not design marriage to do. You have to have a system, and forgiveness is it, where you can flush things and clearly flush it. And that flush may have some residue, but you have to get to a point where you can even get rid of the residue.
Yeah.
Right.
So
You use that word paralyzed. When she read it, I came up with hostage. Sometime in not forgiving, I'm holding myself hostage now because I'm reminding myself of this situation of whatever, maybe dinner wasn't cooked.
Right.
Just joking. But you're holding yourself hostage to some extent by not forgiving, because you'll never get past it. So I agree with everything you said, and I thought that was an excellent use of the words.
thank you.
You're trying to get dinner cooked.
Oh, well, by somebody.
There it is. There it is.
That.
Hey, I think overall though, I just don't believe God wants us to stay there. You know, I look at it just like you said, as okay, if we got a lot of dirt in there, but if we pour his water in there, his living water, it's going to start flushing that stuff out. You know what I'm saying? To where you finally got a nice, cool, clear glass of water.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because he's like, dude, you have a choice. You can run away from me, but that's running towards unforgiveness versus run to me, which is running towards forgiveness. And dude, I did it for you.
Right.
But you can't do it for her.
Right.
Yeah.
If you keep coming home with a bucket of muddy water, though, now it's the memory of all the things that's in it.
Yeah.
So we have to also make changes to make them feel comfortable enough to start to forgive.
Yeah. Yeah, I received that.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about what the word says. What the words say about
Hey, Rod.
forgiveness in marriage.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rodney Bowen. Go ahead and can you read this right here for me? Ephesians 4:32.
You know, Willa can't see that.
Yes,
The
you
Bible
can.
says
What
to
the
be
word
kind
say.
to one another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another as God in Christ forgave you.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's Ephesians 4. That's 4:32. The Bible says to be kind to one another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another as God in Christ forgave you.
That's the word.
What is that? What is that scripture? That small scripture right there. What does that say to you?
Well,
Let's talk about that for a minute.
again, we're applying it to marriage. So it's saying be kind to one another, just like the word says, love your neighbor. Well, who is your closest neighbor? It's your spouse.
Right.
Who is your closest one another? It's your spouse. So it's saying, look, I need you to go all out, to go above and beyond for, even though you're not feeling her today, even though she on your last nerve ain't give you no booty, come on, push. Well, I'm not saying about us. Push through anyway and love her and be kind. So that means, hey, babe, how you doing? It's not this. I'm good. No, it's, hey, babe, good to see you too. Those type things.
Are you kind to your spouse?
I push that way. I do. I push that way.
5 eyes.
I push that way because again, I'm human. And you know how when you get your feelings hurt, now hurt. We always say, right? Hurt people, right? So I'm like, no, I'm not feeling like being kind right now. And I have to wrestle with the Lord. But I can't win. I can't win. So ultimately, it will go back to, I need to.
Are you tenderhearted towards your spouse?
Oh, absolutely.
Tenderhearted.
Tootly-lootly. Yeah. Most of the time. I mean, there are times where, what did Pastor Garen say? We in heated fellowship. Where it's like, hey, man, hey, bro, Brooklyn gonna come out. I promise you that. But then immediately the Spirit convicts me. Those type things.
And are you forgiving of your spouse?
Yeah. I believe I am. I believe so.
I'm asking you the same questions. Are you kind to your spouse?
It's before me.
I heard that since 72. It's before me.
Not always.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
I'm not always kind.
Okay.
But that's what we're talking about, because
Absolutely.
we realize,
Yeah.
guys, we being real with y'all. This is where we need to work on
Absolutely.
our marriage as well. You know what I'm saying?
We are working on our marriage.
Yeah.
Man, we just
Before you.
right now.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
just
So a lot of times we know what we need to do, what we're supposed to do, but it's putting it in practice. And practice means not just doing it one time.
Yeah.
It's that it's continuously being done. So it's a process.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I'm working towards being kinder
Okay.
and
Yeah.
more and
Yeah.
more tenderhearted.
Oh, I was asking, are you tenderhearted towards your spouse?
A lot of times, yes.
Okay.
Sometimes, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you forgiving of your spouse?
I would say yes.
Yeah. And I think those are times where, it's like playing tennis. Okay, cool. I done hit you with a volley that wasn't good or too fast, but that don't mean that you throw your racket back at me. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You volley it back over for me again, and finally I'll try to get it back over to you in the right area and things like that. Or dancing.
Dancing.
Stepping on them toes, and I'm trying to do it on purpose, but you still like, you ain't get me. You ain't get me. You got to sidestep it until I get back in step.
And I like to say in marriage, you have to dance even when you don't like the song that's being played.
Man.
You just got to dance until the one that you want to hear come on.
Real talk. Everybody don't like Burt Bacharach.
That is correct.
What? I'm just saying. I'm just saying, bro. I love that cat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big ups, Burt.
There's always going to be a new song being played.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Brian, are you tenderhearted towards your spouse?
Definitely. As much as possible.
Okay. Are you kind to her?
As much as possible.
Yes. I'm waiting for him to take the fifth.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
And are you forgiving of your spouse?
I'm definitely forgiving. That's an easy one.
Okay. All right. So, Kay, are you kind to your spouse? It's before me. It's before me. Are you tenderhearted? No, not all. No, not.
And I still gotta be.
No,
How
not
about
all,
forgiving?
not all the time. And am I forgiving of my spouse?
Well,
I feel like I'm working on that.
yeah.
And getting better. Yeah, I'm working on that. But here's the reality. You really don't give me much to forgive now.
Yeah. But I think that's my job to not give you much to forgive.
Very much to forgive
and
now.
to continue to work on the past, because I think you look, as much as I acted a fool, you have to at some point come through your street and start laying new asphalt. Because there's so many potholes in there, and the curb is all cracked up, So I'm like, Lord, lay it over, and I'm willing to do my work and my sweat and my tears to get you to that point, man, where you're good, man.
Yeah.
That's my job.
I think I can be. But I was joking as far as I do feel like I can be tenderhearted towards you, but I think that that's definitely an area that I could be more. I could definitely work on being more tenderhearted towards you.
Me too. I received that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. And it's not in the form of booty though, but it's.
I just said that on a
Yeah. I know.
No, you're right. It doesn't have to be that.
No, just tenderhearted.
Yeah.
But you got my heart. I'm just saying.
It could be having my family here.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Yeah. And it was
Oh, you want to some booty?
You funny, B. You real funny. Hey, we might get into that. Y'all might hear the backdrop story on that, because that's all about forgiveness. Ooh, Yeah.
Okay, so here are a few examples of forgiveness in marriage. Go ahead and read these for me, Willa. Since you came up.
Okay, so forgive your spouse for not living up to their potential.
Is anybody out there having it, if you have an example of where you had to forgive your spouse for not living up to their potential, go ahead and put that in the chat for us.
Yeah.
If you have an example of where your spouse didn't live up to their potential, do any of our panelists, do you guys have an example of that where you thought, maybe you thought your spouse didn't live up to their fullest potential? You thought it was going to be
I keep one loaded.
Because I got one loaded, so too.
Okay.
I got one too.
Well,
Let's
go.
go.
Sound like you're loving something.
Yeah, I got some loaded.
No, you know what? Kay and I, again, we always want to be transparent, man. If we're doing this show, then it should be for everything is peachy keen and it's cobbler over here. Nah, it's cobblestones over here. Sometimes gonna take a bite. So Kay and I, we had this heated debate about my family, dude. And I'm gonna be real in front of my mom. She's like, oh, don't put me in blast. Blast, here you come. hey, my family could be a handful. Come on, we got to call it what it is. You know, hey, we all Brooklyn and we all Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? So Kay, that's Orange County. You know, and sometimes like, whoa, man, they come off Brooklyn. And she's like, yeah, I don't know about them cats. And it hurt my feelings, man, because I felt like, dude, you're not living up to your potential, man. They can come around you and get a great example of just a Proverbs 31 woman. And she's like, hey, bro, I ain't feeling that today. I'm staying in Romans, you know, something like that. So that was an area, but lo and behold, hey, we get together after heated fellowship, day later, 2 days later. And we actually come to an agreement. She's like, yeah, you're right, babe. Yo, we got to get your family out here more. Cause I ain't seen my family since what, 2013 in New York?
Yeah, 2013.
Yeah, something like that. So I'm glad she's like, yo, let's get it popping there. Hey, Tasia said something. Yo, she said, I always thought my husband was perfect while we were dating and when we first got married. And then, he'll go there and then when I realized he was human, yeah, I had to check myself and adjust my expectations. Come on.
That's great.
Come on. I love that.
Yes, good.
Yeah, real talk right there.
Expectation.
Yep.
Okay.
Because just to touch on what Tricia says, we do go into, especially me as a woman, I have this fairy tale ideas of what marriage is going to be. And you know, when you're dating, a lot of times you bring your representative.
Come on, ambassador.
Man. And he on his, you did, but you're on your best behavior, and then life happens. You get these kids, you get these bills, you get these responsibilities, you got all these different things. Now you don't have time for romance all the time. Yeah. It's life that's happening.
Yeah, real talk.
So now, will the real Tricia please stand up, or will the real Miss, her? Yeah. You got to stand up. Absolutely. Yeah. So a lot of times people get into marriage and they're not really guarded with what marriage can bring. Man. You just have this thought of, oh my God, it's going to be cupcakes and roses. But sometimes ain't nothing sweet about it. And you have to be guarded for those seasons where you have those ebbs and flows. Yeah. And sometimes you got to hold on just to not the contract, but the covenant, because I'm in this because God has ordained this thing. I can't just jump out because I feel like I don't like you right now.
That's right.
And that feeling has been going on for a couple of years. So
8 3/4.
Hey, 8 3/4. So it's a real thing.
Yeah. So fam, what we're saying is even when your marriage tastes like black licorice.
My daddy loved black.
Man, that's why right there. You got the whole man. Nobody like man. See, that's why, man. I tell you.
Okay, here's another example: forgiving your spouse for not living up to who they agreed to be. So when we stood before the altar and we said, "I'm gonna be your husband," for better, for worse, through sickness and thin, whatever. You agreed that you were gonna be the priest of my home. You agreed that you were going to be the provider. Right. You agreed that you were going to be the protector. You agreed to be all these things. Right. I agreed that I was going. I agreed that I was going to be the only person that you was going to get. Have relations with. I agreed to these things, and then
something happened. Something happened.
I didn't.
Here's the thing, man. And B can probably speak to this, man, because hey, when we're baptizing someone, right? That's a public display of, look, I'm all about Jesus. I'm his, right? And I think that's what we're doing with the covenant, with the marriage. But I tell cats when they coming back up, hey man, don't come out of here the same way. Because that was me. I went down a dry devil. I came up a wet devil. You know what I'm saying? That type thing. So I tell them, I tell cats, change from here. And that didn't happen with me. I was like, I do. Because you don't really realize those vows, man, until you really realize those vows, So I think for me, man, it was, and we said this in the marriage ministry, back then I thought about it as just a contract. And guess what? I'm a grown man. I could break any contract, sue me. You know what I'm saying? But I had to get out of that mindset. No, I'm in a covenant. And God is going to be like, Coop, I'm going to see you. And that puts fear in me to say, nah, I got to work this out. Whatever it is, I got to ask for forgiveness and give some forgiveness.
So I had to forgive you because you did not stand up there at the altar. You were not the person that you agreed to be.
Hey, but let's be real though. Hey,
you weren't a husband.
Right. Well, so I'm gonna go there. But you knew that from the get-go.
How did I know that?
Because I ain't never came and I ain't never said, hey man, this is I don't think I showed you Aaron. You know what I'm saying? I think I always showed you Coop, but it was a dark Coop. You know what I'm saying? Come on, you can't give love if you don't love yourself. You know what I'm saying? You come on.
I think there was times where your representative came, Aaron.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not a fool. I'm not just gonna be like, you just gonna show me dark Coop the whole time.
Right.
Like, I love him.
No.
Let's get married.
But no, what I'm saying about that, guys, babe, I told you, I said, yo, I ain't never getting married.
But you changed your mind.
Right. But I was still getting some booty. You see what I'm saying? That type of thing. I said, dude, that's not what I want to do. You know, but yeah, I changed my mind because you started melting my heart. Yeah, you did. Dang. 27 years later.
I would agree that when I stood up there at the altar, I didn't know what I know now.
Yeah,
of course.
And
I'm agreeing with you.
I left, and I was a married single dude.
Yeah.
And it was sad. I didn't know better. And I went back on with my life, and I was married, and
same here.
That's where the problem was, because I didn't
was a
realize,
married single dude.
And I've never seen marriage. I didn't know, and she asked me several times, and finally she said, "My mama gonna pay for it."
It's like my daddy said, when you marry me, man, I got our baby on my daddy wanted to know.
I told Kay's mom, hey, I was still in the Marine Corps. I said, hey, I ain't coming down. She said, no, Aaron, just come on. You're getting cold feet. Now just come on down. But honestly, it's the best advice I had.
Right.
You know, real talk. And I agree with B. Yo, we just didn't know any better.
Here's a good one.
Okay.
Forgiving. Okay, this is good. I think forgiving your spouse for refusing to see you or your pain.
Let's speak on it.
I believe that in the first part of our marriage, in the 8 3/4 marriage, I don't believe that you. I don't think we saw each other.
Right.
I really don't think that we saw each other. And I definitely don't think that you saw me, and I don't think you saw my pain.
Right.
Wow, you know, my husband is like not coming home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just the embarrassment and the humiliation. Okay, we thinking this as a little girl, you'll get married and everything. Your husband's gonna sweep you off your feet, and my dude is not coming home. We having fights on Wednesdays, so this cat can not come home on Friday.
Right. Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, it was, and I think at that time I wasn't a lot. That caused me a lot of pain emotionally. Just it made me question who I was not only as a wife, but as a woman.
Yeah.
You know, like, dang, okay, so my husband doesn't want to spend time with me. My husband would rather be out at the club trying to see, you know, whatever. And I'm sitting here with the kids. So it was a very painful time. And I don't think that you saw my pain or recognized the pain that was causing me.
Yeah. And then we didn't know how to communicate about it either.
No.
You know,
no.
Because
it came across in anger.
Yeah.
And it came across in just
me and selfishness. Look, I'm gonna do what I want to do. You know, that type thing. And that didn't work, man. But I'm so glad God was like, look, I'm gonna hold y'all together till y'all get this together. And then I'm gonna still hold y'all together.
Right.
You know, because I don't think as females, you know, y'all grow up thinking that, you know, y'all playing with the Barbie dolls, and we've discussed this. Dude, we're not doing it as dudes. We playing with guns, you know, trying to conquer everything and war. And it's a different balance there, you know? Yeah.
And I think sometimes too, as being married so young, and then I had children young, and then Brian still, you know, he's that married single guy, so he wants to go hang out with the friends.
Right.
So who's left to take care of the household? Who's there to make sure the bills are getting paid?
Yeah.
So when you want to wash your tail, that the water runs. Who's there to make sure the kids are eating? Who's there to make sure that the rent's being paid? You know, so there's so many responsibilities that hold a household together that all fell on me. I don't know about for you, but all fell on me because he the married single guy.
Yeah.
So that causes resentment.
Mhm.
So that is definitely something that you have to forgive that
Mhm.
spouse for.
Mhm.
But the forgiveness comes when you start seeing a different behavior.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
You're right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Last one. Forgive. This will be to Dr. Churchill. Forgiving your spouse for unfulfilled expectations.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you had to? Do you feel like you had to forgive your spouse for that?
100%.
Yeah. Same
Me,
here.
100%. 100%. Speak on things.
No. Come on, Willow. Go ahead.
I was going to say that, Brian and I have started this venture of having our own business.
That's right.
So within having that conversation that we're going to do that, of course, we said, okay, you're going to go ahead and let go of your job. I'm going to hold the household together financially until the business can take off.
Mhm.
So of course I have these expectations. Okay, you should be doing this,
Right.
you should bring in this, that. And then when it's not being what I think it should be, then that causes unmet expectations.
Right.
And then that causes a bigger issue within the marriage because, by this point you should be doing this.
Mhm.
But based on what?
Based on what?
We ain't been here before. This is new territory.
Right.
So yeah, that has caused a huge division
Mhm.
in the marriage because I think it should be going one way when in all reality it may be going a different way.
Mhm.
So
Mhm. Mhm.
Hey, big ups on y'all company though, because I believe it's going to be awesome. Matter of fact, it already is, and I'm claiming it's going to be better. But I think we have, like we said, our expectations, and God winds up having His own time.
We have someone,
that type thing. Sister Forrest said, feeling disregarded in marriage feels lonely and can definitely cause resentment. Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree with that. This is where you have to submit unto one another as unto Christ.
Right,
so
right.
that means in every area,
Mhm.
okay. And I think that the expectations of mine was, I think our communication can be better. Just a conversation, and sometimes my tone isn't right, or sometimes you go back to 8 3/4 and you'll say something like, "Yo," he was like, "Oh, well, I'll need to talk to you about that." I'm like, you know what? Hey, you don't want to see Brooklyn. You don't want to see Brooklyn, but in reality, I'm like, no, yes, you do, because we got to be on the same page. And my expectations of communication is like, dude, with everything, let's go, let's get it. And sometimes I need to give you your space and your time. She'll come around and we'll discuss it, but it ain't got to be when I want, that type thing. So that would be mine, in my opinion.
Okay.
You thought I was going to say something about booty, didn't you?
No.
Oh, okay. Way to go.
No, I did not think that. Research says that there are 7 steps to forgiveness in a marital relationship. Nothing? Good?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So research says there are 7 steps to forgiveness in a marital relationship. We're going to go through these really, really quick. First step is acknowledgement. You have to acknowledge the hurt. You have to acknowledge that.
Don't run from it.
Yeah, we have to acknowledge it.
so mean that you have to acknowledge the other person's hurt.
You have to acknowledge. No, you have to acknowledge.
Well, you hurt too.
You were hurt.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to acknowledge that you did something.
It's
your
all
spouse
good.
did something that.
We're not sweeping under the rug anymore.
Yeah, no. This is a violation right here. This hurt. Let's acknowledge the hurt.
And babe, can I? And
sure.
fellas, it's okay to tell your wife, your spouse, that hurt me. We don't do that. It's almost unheard of with dudes. We're not gonna speak the word hurt, even though it hurt. And now we hold it in, and next thing you know, it starts doing this. So yeah, we gotta own it.
Step number 2 says, consider how the hurt and pain has affected you. So consider it. How has what my spouse, the offense, how consider how it affects you.
Right.
Okay. It made me feel, like I said before, it made me feel less than a woman. It made me feel like, dude, it made me question, am I enough?
Yeah.
It made me question that as a wife. So
and you are enough.
Consider that. Thank you.
You are enough.
Yeah. Step 3, accept that you cannot change what happened. You cannot change the past. Man, if I had $1, I would, we talked about this before. Like, would you change it? Would you go back and change it? And I would definitely go back and change that part of the 8 3/4 of our year. We can go through other drama, but not that particular drama that we went through. I would change that. Would you guys change the past just real quick?
I would say no.
You wouldn't change your past?
No.
I would say no too, because I might not be where I am right now.
Real talk.
Would you not change it?
No, because I
would just change certain parts.
No. See, here's the thing. Hey, back in the day, it was this movie called Butterfly Effect. I don't know if you guys seen that, but yeah, he would go back because he wanted to save his girl who loved. But every time he went back, the ripple messed up something else, and it changed another person. Dude, 11971, right? Song.
Mm-hmm.
I was glad that I was afflicted, so I might learn his precepts. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't. Come on, it wouldn't be good to still be married to Gunny Cooper. Yeah, man.
Okay. Number 4. Here's where now remember, I'm going to read this and then we're going to come back and talk about this particular step.
Okay.
Step 4 says determine whether or not you will forgive. Determine whether or not you will forgive. This is when the forgiveness process will either begin or end. This decision should not be made lightly, as it will determine the future of your relationship.
Well, why we can't chop it up about that now?
Because I'm gonna keep going.
Okay.
I'm gonna come back.
Okay, all right.
Come back and talk to you about that.
Do your thing, Jimmy.
Step number 5 is repair. Repair the relationship with your spouse who wronged you. Before any act of forgiveness or reconciliation, rebuild the connection you used to have with this person. So repair. I
didn't decide. So how am I repair if I ain't decide?
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on.
Okay, well, go ahead there, Bubsy.
Hold on.
You know?
Doogie Howser? Okay, listen. So step 6 is learn. Learn what forgiveness means to you. Learn what it means to you.
Right.
And number 7 is forgive. Forgive the person. Forgive your spouse. Forgive.
Okay.
That's a step.
Okay.
That's step number 7. Now, my question, here's our question for our viewers and for the panelists. Okay. This is the question I have. Okay. From a biblical perspective, God clearly tells us that we must forgive. In step 4, it says you must determine whether or not you're going to forgive. Right?
Okay.
But as lovers of Christ, do we really have a choice?
That's an excellent question right there. So we back on 4, right?
So we back. So I said hold number 4. So we're going back. Do you as lovers of Christ? We all saying we love the Lord, lovers of Christ, right? So do we have a choice? Because we don't. So I don't need to determine whether or not I'm going to forgive you, my spouse. I don't need to determine whether or not I'm going to forgive you, right? Because it's automatically.
It's not automatic.
Yeah.
It's not automatic.
It's not.
No.
Okay, well, Pearl.
I'm sorry. It's not automatic.
See, that's
it's not automatic. Okay, it's not. It's not automatic. Oh, okay. I believe
that's what you should do, but that ain't always what we do.
Right.
Okay. But as lovers of Christ, we don't have a choice. I don't have a choice in that.
But we know that right now in the church, stats show that divorce is at 50%. I think it's even higher.
I think so too.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So these lovers of Christ ain't forgiving and deciding.
Stay together.
Yeah. We pulling the parachute.
Right.
The parachute pulls you up out of there, right?
Right.
I'm out. So here's my thoughts on it. We know that God hates divorce. We know that he forgives us. He just forgave me today. You know what I'm saying? That type thing, Jack. You know, so would he like us to go that route? I think that is supposed to be our job, to go the route that he already walked, you know. But I think he says, look, I didn't create a robot. I didn't create no robot, and I'm going to give you free will. You choose what you're going to do. But just know that I do have the last say when you come see me.
I don't feel we have a choice.
Okay.
I don't feel like we have a choice. It clearly says 50 million times in the Bible, forgive that you be forgiven. So if you don't forgive, then how?
Well, I agree with you. So why is it telling us that? Why is it telling us that?
Right, because if there was not a choice, he wouldn't have to say it, because it would automatically happen.
Boom.
He still gives us choice.
He's reminding us.
Hold on. We have a comment.
Sister Gravenberg said, I agree. It's definitely not automatic. He's reminding us, don't forget to forgive. Don't forget to love. Don't forget To not repay evil with evil.
Listen, do you hear what I'm saying? No, I don't believe it's a choice, because if he says, if you don't forgive, then I won't forgive you.
I
so
agree.
Then how? So if I,
but
babe, that take to me, I don't have a choice.
I hear you, but babe,
You have a choice.
people still make the choice not to forgive. And he says, "Okay, cool, I'm gonna see you."
Okay, okay.
Come on, B.
I agree exactly what Coop was saying that
Why you don't ever agree with what I'm saying?
you know what, I agree with what Kay was saying. But we are all here at will.
Yeah.
To do or not to do.
Mm-hmm.
And even though it's saying what we should do, not everybody is going to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
but I'm specifically talking about us as lovers of Christ, as Christians. For us, I mean, not everybody's gonna do it, right? You're right. But for us as lovers of Christ, I'm saying that I must forgive.
Right.
I don't have a choice.
But babe,
I don't do. I have to look at it like that. I'm just
as you should.
I have to look at it like that.
As you should.
If I look like I got a choice, you're not getting forgiven.
Yeah, but
if I think that I can still get forgiven of my sins, and I don't have to forgive you, and God can still forgive me. That's it. Okay. Oh, I can. Okay, cool. Then I'm not forgiving you.
Hence the same reason we say divorce is not an option. Oh, I'm not even gonna go into that right now. I'm not. I'm not. But babe, this is what I'm talking about. We have over 2.1 billion Christians. At least one of them are going to. Remember, the word says, "Dude." Now everyone has said, "Lord, Lord," is going to come see me. Dude, you're not getting in here, bro, because some things you look. Bishop says, "Dude, I ain't got a heaven or hell to send you to." So in front of us, we could be all nice, I forgive, but in our heart, dude, the Lord sees, dude. You know what? You know you don't. No, you don't. You smiling the exterior, but I can see the interior, and you haven't. I'm gonna talk to you about that one-on-one later, and that's where I'm trying to say, yo, whatever's in me, whether I know about it or don't, Lord, help me with that, man. I need you to, please.
Yeah.
So you're saying you don't have a choice. If you want God to forgive you, you don't have a choice on forgiving others.
Right. Mm-hmm. I have to look at it like that. I don't have a choice. I have to forgive you. Right. I have to forgive people who I feel have wronged me. Mm-hmm. Or again, talking in marriage, specifically talking about marriage. In our marriage, you hurt me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to forgive you for that hurt, for that.
But it was a process, though. It wasn't right then and there. So why didn't God say, "Okay, he hurt you. Next minute. Okay, I'm gonna give you an hour. Okay, I'm gonna give you a date. Boom, you ain't do it. You gotta go." No, he doesn't do that. He says, "Dude, I'm gonna work with you."
And I want to look at it as I get to a point where I want to forgive you.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be that I have to do it or else I'm not going. I want to forgive you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to put in work to help you.
Absolutely.
Want to forgive me.
Yeah. Well, I think when an offense first happens or whatever, I think I'm at that point already where I want to forgive you. I want to. I don't.
Right.
But I want to forgive you. So let's just start. Let's just be honest.
Because it is a process.
Yeah, it's a process. So I want to forgive you. I want to forgive you for what you've done. Or
when the offense first happened, you said?
I want to forgive you.
When the offense first happens.
When the offense first happens, I want to. I'm
a bad mama jamma.
I want to forgive you.
I believe you.
I don't.
I
don't forgive you, but I want to.
Yeah, I'm not at the stage yet. Yeah.
Now, when it first happened,
Sister Greenberg said the Bible tells us to do a lot of things as lovers of Christ that we don't do.
I mean that's true. It's on screen. Yeah. Okay. So
I think it's a work in progress. But I love what you said earlier, babe.
What?
Hey, if you've been wrong and you are having problems with forgiveness, it's my job to help you with that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? As men, we can be helpmates too. I need to help you there and show you, no, look, I'm better. Look, I'm different. Look, what do you need? Where do we need to go? What do we need to talk about? Those type of things to help you get to that level of forgiveness,
Okay. All right, real quick, we're running out of time. Why you got something else you want to say?
Go ahead.
You sure? Go ahead. You got Speak now.
I want to say I'm so glad that we're talking about other areas of marriage because unforgiveness comes in other forms than infidelity.
Yeah,
so there's so much more in a marriage that needs to be forgiven besides sexual unmet expectations. So I'm glad that there are other areas because it just makes a whole conversation about what marriage entails.
Dude, the money ain't right.
Right. Because you went gambling with
the kids grew up wrong.
Because you wasn't there. So I'm just saying that those are things that we can not forgive.
Hey, here's one. It says, that's interesting. Determining whether or not you will truly forgive and if you move forward with that agreement, but secretly don't truly forgive, the marriage merely exists in a broken state because of the unforgiveness.
Absolutely.
You got to decide.
Right.
Absolutely.
And
whoever wrote that, absolutely.
I think that unforgiveness is like a cancer. You
Come
don't know
on,
it's there.
Willa.
And what happens with cancer that is not treated,
Don't
it starts
you say,
to metastasize.
I'll run out of here.
And it runs through the entire body. Man. And it kills it. And then what it will cause is unforgiveness will start to cause a disrespect. Or I don't really respect you. And I ain't saying that. I don't forgive you for some stuff back then. And then when I don't respect you, I'm definitely talking disrespectful. I'm doing whatever I want to do because your voice don't really matter. Because there's a cancer that's growing inside of me. So we definitely cannot let that fester.
I agree. I agree.
Real quick, I'm going to run through this real quick. I want to get to the JM2C. I think it's a good one. Okay, so real quick, why do we find it so hard to forgive? One reason we resist forgiving is that we don't really understand what forgiveness means or how it works. We think we do, but we really don't.
Right.
So we need to. So real quick, let's talk about what forgiveness is and what it is. You said that earlier. So real quick, I'm gonna run through a few, and you guys say agree or disagree.
Okay.
Real quick, is that cool?
Yep.
Okay. First one, forgiveness is not letting the offender off the hook. Forgiveness means we can and should still hold others accountable for their actions or lack of actions.
I agree.
Agree or disagree?
Agree.
Okay. Forgiveness is returning to God the right to take care of justice by refusing to transfer the right to exact punishment or revenge. We are telling God we don't trust him to take care of our matters.
Yeah. Wholeheartedly agree.
Agree? Disagree?
I got lost somewhere.
Okay.
It's giving it back to God.
Returning to God the right to take care of the justice.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. Forgiveness. Agree. Okay. Forgiveness is not letting the offense reoccur again and again. Forgiveness means we don't have to tolerate, nor should we keep ourselves open to lack of respect or any form of abuse. Agree? Disagree?
100% agree.
Okay. Agree. Okay. Last one. Wait, let's see. No. Forgiveness is a process, not an event. It might take some time to work through our emotional problems before we can truly forgive.
Agree.
I disagree. I'm just joking. I just want to say it once.
We have a comment.
It says disagree to
agree or disagree with this. We have to forgive every time. If we find ourselves constantly forgiving, though, we might need to take a look at the dance we are doing with the other person that sets us up to be continually hurt, attacked, or abused. So we have to forgive every time.
Oh, well, I agree to an extent with that.
Hopefully the every time is something different.
Right. That's what I'm. If you're just doing the same old repetitious
same old thing tonight,
perpetual,
if you're doing the DJ quick, I don't know.
It's like, bro, we gotta talk.
Yeah.
Coming home at 5 a.m. with a joint in your ear.
Yeah, real talk, right here.
Every night.
God. Yeah. or 5:50 or 4:52 in the morning. On Sunday night. Okay. Forgiveness is not based on others' actions, but on our attitude.
Yeah, I agree. One of the sisters said, definitely a process. Forgiveness may not be automatic. It's not.
It's definitely a process.
Process. Okay. You agree or disagree? Agree or disagree?
Yeah.
I said agree.
Okay. Cool.
Agree.
Let me see. This is the last one.
Yeah, man. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go and run to that last one.
Okay. If they don't repent, we still have to forgive. Even if they never ask, we need to forgive.
100%.
Forgiveness is for you, not them.
Okay. All right, Beatty. Okay. Okay. Here's the last one. But withholding forgiveness is a refusal to let go of perceived power.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
I do too. I kind of had to smile when I said it. That's right.
All right. Lord Jesus.
Okay.
That's why there.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. So last thing we'll leave you guys with. Forgiveness starts with a mental decision. The emotional part of forgiveness is finally being able to let go of the resentment, Emotional healing may or may not follow quickly after we forgive.
Definitely. It's a process.
It's a process. So basically what that's saying is forgiveness is a process.
And who's in charge of the process?
Not
God.
Yeah.
So trust the process.
Perceive power. Remember, perceive power.
Yeah.
All right. So that's what we have on forgiveness in marriage.
Okay.
So we're gonna talk real quick about what's under the hood. Now, here's something that for our viewers. Yeah, this is something for our viewers, and this is again, what's under the hood is something that you keep hidden. It's something that you really have to be honest with yourself or whatever.
You got to dig to get to it.
It's not something. I'm sorry.
You got to dig to get to it.
You got to
lift some things up.
What's under the hood. You don't have to. It's not just out there for everybody to see. So this is a deep one, everybody. Is there something you have not forgiven your spouse about that they are not aware of?
That's good. That's good.
Is there something? Sorry, the tapping. Yeah. Is there something that you have not forgiven your spouse about that they are not aware of?
I would say for me, I think.
Oh, you got you.
No. I think because it comes up. The 8 3/4 will still rise its head every once in a while because it was a reality. And sometimes I have to tell you, look, dude, that's not where we live in no more, and then we have an argument about, I'm like, Kay, you in the past, bro, come on up. I'm right here. And I'm not in the past and things like that. So it's like, sometimes it'll make me think, man, dude, do you really forgive me for all that stuff in the past? You know what I'm saying? And then I'll flip it and say, dude, well, now I got to forgive you for not forgive me for stuff from the past. So it's like, oh Lord, that type thing. Because if it were up to me, I'd never go back there. I already know. Come on, how many times you got to look at the map to know how to get to Mission Avenue? You know what I'm saying?
Stay off my street, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So it's like, bro, I know how to get there with closing my eyes now. That type thing. So I really don't need. There's things ahead of me that I want us to roll, but if you keep pulling me back, and I don't have a choice but to go back because now I got to submit. That means you still need some stuff from back there that we need to dig up and put the balm of Gilead on, that type thing. So I would say that part, like, man, dude, come on, I want to move forward, but sometimes you're not ready.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else? Any viewers out there? We have a comment. Is that a comment?
I would say I do feel like I've forgiven anything my wife has done. I can't think of nothing that if she doesn't cook, I'm cool with that.
Right. So you forgave her today, huh?
I'm hungry.
Huh.
I also want to say how important it is, not only that we are forgiving our spouse, but also that we are forgiving ourselves.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we don't meet the mark, and sometimes we're the cause that things are not right in our marriage. And because we haven't forgiven ourselves, we start to walk with that limp that I talked about earlier, because you feel like you're not worthy, you don't deserve this love, whatever the feeling is. You're not bringing your whole self to the marriage because you're so busy condemning yourself for what the marriage could have been had you not been this, that, or the other. So I feel like I'm guilty of that. There's some things. We had a conversation last night, and it was a heated fellowship.
Yeah.
And he said, it's your fault. And I didn't say, it ain't my fault. I went away from the room, and God was like, yeah, it's
own
your
it.
fault.
Own it. That's our new word. Own it.
So I own it.
Yeah.
And I have to do the work to make it better.
Own it.
That's it. That's a new word.
Own it.
What's the comment, babe?
Someone said, yes, the situation may be small, but it still occurs. This situation is hard to forgive. And you got to get to that stage. Okay, you're at some point in the process of forgiving. You got to decide, do you want to keep moving forward, or are you going to stop? And if you're a Christian, if you marry, then I would suggest that you do not stop, that you keep moving forward, because I believe we're living witnesses that you can make it and the marriage can flourish. Doesn't mean that you still want to have bumps in the roads or heated fellowship. It just means that no, God is in control more than us, and we're gonna keep moving forward.
Okay, give it the comment, babe.
Okay, this is sometimes there are triggers. Ooh,
Oh, wow.
we know about those triggers that our spouse do that help us to go back there. Getting to the root of those triggers are important. I had to talk with my husband about some of my triggers this morning. Yeah, but I love that she said she had to talk to him.
Right.
Not I'm gonna talk at you. Now I'm gonna talk over you.
I'm gonna tell my girlfriend. Curse you out.
Yeah.
I talk to my husband.
Real talk. I think we said, dude, don't tell your girlfriends nothing that you haven't told me first.
Right. The emotions. Don't ask my neighbor, honey. Come to me.
Come on now. Real talk.
Shout out, Lou.
Yeah. So real talk right there. I received that because because a lot of times as fellas we owe somewhere we don't even know we out fishing. Yeah. But I love that y'all are able to say, look, bro, you better pay attention right here.
Yeah, and don't get frustrated because it's easy to do if you have to have the same conversation more than one time.
Yeah. 73?
73, 75
times,
Yeah, you might have to say it more than 10 times.
Yeah, Kay said it to me about 73.
Yeah.
All right. That's it on that. JM2C, because we only have a few minutes left. JM2C, hello TMTU. My name is Megan. I'm 25 years old. I'm looking for some guidance on how I should handle a very hurtful and embarrassing situation that recently happened to me. My boyfriend, Chance, and I dated for 4 years. We met in college and we lived in the same apartment dorms. He was from the South and I'm from the city. We met and there was an instant connection. We were inseparable for 4 years. Chance proposed to me and asked me to be his wife, and we planned to be married on June 26, 2021. It was supposed to be a big celebration of our love. Notice I said supposed to be. Well, our wedding came and went. Here's what happened. That night before our wedding, Chance and his boys had his bachelor party. I don't have all the details, but from what I do know, it was a night so good that no one could remember. Not one of the men who attended the bachelor party could give an account of what happened. Side eye. Here's my issue. Chance did not show up for the wedding. He stood me up at the altar. It's in all caps. We waited at the church for more than 2 hours and he never showed. I was mortified. How could this happen? That's not where it ends. 2 days later, Chance comes to my parents' home begging and saying he got cold feet and he was scared to go through with the commitment. He said he was a coward and apologized profusely for doing me like that. He asked if we could go to premarital counseling and start over again. I'm torn and conflicted. I still love him and want to be his wife, but I'm not sure I can forgive him for the embarrassment and humiliation he caused me, let alone forget it. Is there something wrong with me for still wanting to be his wife? Signed, Contemplating and Confused. Real quick.
Confused and contemplating.
Real quick. So
CC.
CC?
That's her name.
CC Sebastian. Okay, so she says she's torn. She still want to be with him, but she's not sure she can forgive him for the embarrassment and for the humiliation.
Well, what you think?
That's going to make a great wedding story in 20 years.
That's right, B. Yeah.
Okay, that's okay.
Hey, first of all, hey, sis, okay. You said now he want to do premarital counseling.
Why did it happen before?
bruh, don't jump into nothing that you know God is gonna be like, okay, so y'all ready? And you didn't have some premarital counseling, man. Dude, you got to get it ahead of time because it's gonna bring out all of the nooks and crannies and the bugs, and so you guys can have good communication about it, man. But you know, I'm always an optimistic cat, man. You know, I just told you, I told her mama, hey, I ain't coming. You know what I'm saying? So we do get cold feet and things like that. But here we are, you know, with dating 27 years later, you know, and it is the best thing that but in between there, yeah, we got some stories like Brian said of how God helped us make it over. Yeah. So yeah,
I definitely would suggest that she goes to the counseling.
Yeah.
If for not But one thing, if just to close some closure, she's not gonna not want to be married to him just because this happened. She still has love for him. Yeah, she's embarrassed. It's gonna be hard for her to get married to him, to her with her family saying, "This sucker done stood you up. I ain't coming. Y'all better go to the justice of the peace,
man,
and I want my gift back."
Right.
So, I definitely would say to go to the premarital.
Hey, one of the sisters said, "You see my face right now? We ain't going nowhere together."
Because what I think will happen is in 5 years, is she going to start saying, "Oh my God, should I have?"
Yeah.
And don't let that sucker get successful. She's like, "Lord, it could have been me."
CEO of
Should I
Tesla.
had
Be acrimony, be straight acrimony.
Man, hey.
I'm just,
Dude, 'cause we've all made mistakes.
For closure.
Hey man, but you don't. I'm sorry, dude. No, you know.
So
I'm gonna go ahead and say, sis. I agree with you as far as let's go to. I go to individual counseling.
What we going to counseling for then?
I'm gonna go to individual because of the pain and embarrassment that you just caused me. You just you left me at the altar, runaway groom. Yeah. So so
true.
you left me in front of a church full of people.
Right.
You embarrassed me.
Right.
So no, I'm gonna go ahead and say, I'm gonna need some counseling because I'm gonna have PTSD on that. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to counselor, have him help me work through getting over you. Because
I think that's so much easier said than done.
I know, but I'm just saying, but I'm gonna go get some help from the counselor because
And for the brother,
4 years they were dating, you guys.
Right.
4 years they dated, and then
dated 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years they dated, and then you leave me at the altar.
You almost got left at the altar.
Real talk.
No, I didn't.
I told your mama he wasn't coming.
No, I didn't.
I ain't coming, bro. Just like that. But here's for the dude. Hey, so look, I think you're in my shoes of now it's your job to deposit more into that trust bank because it's depleted, more into that confidence because it's depleted, and help her in whatever ways and be ready because first it's gonna come out like but as time goes on, it'll calm down and you'll see, you really hurt her. And you have to now, like I didn't do, you have to acknowledge that and say, I'm sorry I hurt you. What can I do? We'll take it as slow as you need, but I promise you. And then here's the thing, sis, don't worry about the bachelor party. Don't worry about it. It's that splat. Don't worry about that, play. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just for you trying to work, dude, you ain't got nothing to do with that. That's the fellas, just like y'all had y'all girls' night out. Stop playing.
I do want to say this though. I do, but as it pertains to forgiving, I would say that yes, you do have to forgive him. You definitely do have to forgive him. But I will forgive him, like it says in these steps. I will forgive him, but that doesn't mean that I have to do this dance, continue to do this dance with you. Don't mean that yet. I can forgive you and I can move on.
Hey, I want everyone that's watching right now to remember what you did. So we ready to condemn this cat. Put him on the cross upside down like Peter. I want you to just take a moment and think about what you did before you got married. Yeah, and then say,
sometimes since you've been married.
Man, right? And then say, nah, man. I'm just saying. Because last thing she need to be around is a whole bunch of single girls talking about, jet on him. Because I'm going to get him, So I'm just saying. Yeah.
All right. So that's what we got for forgiveness in marriage. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Again, remember to like it, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel at the Marriage Tune Up hyphen
up. The Marriage Tune hyphen up. Yeah.
So we'll see you guys back here in 2 weeks.
2 weeks, boy.
We'll be talking about redemption.
Ooh, that's going to hurt. Hey, love y'all. Peace.
Woke up, still smiling, sun shining, feel fine, and it's one person I got to thank. And no, it ain't your mama or your Uncle Hank, it's Jesus, the one that'll get you going, keep you flowing high. You already know, and he'll lift you up, pick you up, get you up. He'll set you up in a life with less strife. That's just right, with pure love and more light. As long as you live it, mama, he got you. And now that you free, what's the plan for you? You better get him, let him, live him, kiss him, miss him, bug him, hug him, love him. And please stop talking this, that, and the third. And just focus on God in his word. Cause I'm lit, I'm free. The light I see, switch it up, I'm lit. I see the light, I'm free. Old school,